and shepherds we shall be. For thee, my Lord, for thee, power hath descended forth from thy hand, so my feet may swiftly carry out thy command. And we shall flow over the forth to thee, and teeming with souls shall it ever be. And nomine Patri, et Filii, Spiritus Sancti. I especially love filming a little bit of the flights on the way home. Process the whole weekend. First thing I want to say, Timmy. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Timmy. I'm so proud of you, bro. Guy was quiet, but he said he turns into a different person when he gets on that microphone. And boy, he wasn't lying. You're the man, Timmy. We're peanut butter and jelly, and we got a lot of plans. Betsy, it's a pleasure meeting you. It's easy to see that you and Joey are in love. I'm a big fan of love. And I can tell there would be no NBK if Betsy wasn't behind the wheel. Behind every good man is an even better woman. I want you to know not everybody in this sport is after your money. There's some real promoters out there. Some real ones, like Joey, always giving back. But don't take my word for it. Why don't you hear from the man himself? When you listen to this interview, I want you to not only listen to what he says, but I want you to listen to his voice and how he says it, the passion in the words that come out of his mouth. It is an honor and a pleasure to announce the very first Church of Arm Wrestling exclusive interview with a very special guest, featuring the one and only face of NBK, Joe Drellick, Joey D.
Alright, 3, 2, and 1. We're on our way to the Minnesota airport. I can say I knew how this weekend would turn out. I knew it would be amazing. Probably 30 seconds into meeting him in San Francisco. A little bit nervous in San Francisco, but I came here because I knew we were going to do something great together eventually, and it turned out. How did it turn out, Joe?
We had some new changes for this event, so we were really kind of hoping for the best, but not getting our hopes too high, I guess. It was awesome. We broke our previous record on entries with 157, and it was super smooth. We ran 3 tables. We had really good refs, really good competitors, really good crowd support. I mean, that place was so loud, so loud. Everyone had a good time. First and foremost, I just want to say thanks to all of our sponsors. Everyone who made it happen, everyone who came out and traveled from like all over the place. We had a lot of travelers from long distances, California, Ohio. We had a guy from Nebraska, South Dakota, even a guy from Pennsylvania. It was really good, really good. Can't say thanks enough. So I just want to get that. Just really thanks. Let's see.
I'll tell you the first thing I was impressed with here, Ben.
Yeah?
How smooth it was run. But one thing that I've seen that I've never seen in this sport is not only a single, but a group of young men not only compete, but dominate the sport. And not only that, 2 of them are under 18 years of age, competing in pro divisions. 14-year-old, tell us about the 14-year-old gentleman.
One of my students to the sport, you could say, Eric Carlson. He's been training with me and the group and his older brother Seth for about 2.5 years now. From the very beginning, him and his brother were like the literal definition of a natural at the sport. They are just really fundamentally sound arm wrestlers, and amazing students, always learning, always progressing, and paying attention to what they're doing wrong and actually wanting to get better without, letting a win or a loss get too much on their mind. Eric won a lot of matches yesterday that a lot of people probably didn't expect him to win or even really be in the match. He dominated. It's just a shout out to his work ethic and being the amazing competitor that he is. Can't wait to show you guys the footage from him. He was on fire. And
his brother too.
Yeah, Seth had a really good day. Had a really big match against his fellow training partner Max. They're pretty much the best training partners for each other right now.
They're best friends and they don't even know it yet.
Yep. Yeah, they are. They really are. They both wanted to win that match. Max wanted to win to, let people know that winning the match against Seth in October wasn't, just some abnormality. It was, the way it was supposed to be. And Seth was wanting to redeem it from just, having a want to be a very strong competitor on the team. What they don't understand is that they are going to be the best competition for each other and training for each other to get to where they want to be when we start traveling as a team. It's
Tell me about their practices. Do they practice against each other or do they ignore each other?
They pretty much practice with each other the whole time. I can't even hardly...
You can't split them up?
Yeah. I mean, I'll get in there and pull with them every now and then, but it's like Seth doesn't even want to arm wrestle with me anymore. It's kind of sad.
So they have a kind of a... It seems like they have a bond, a deep bond they may not even be aware of. Because they probably butt heads in all that competition.
Yeah, in the beginning I would definitely have said, they were circling each other, posturing, chest puffing, trying to see who's the bigger arm on the block. And I do believe that what's going to transpire out of this will be Max. Max is a little bit bigger competitor and has been making a decent cut down to 76, and we've talked about it. He's expressed his intent that he's going to probably start competing in the higher weight class at 198, or if we run into some events where it's a 185-pound class, he'll fit right in there perfectly. So we're just looking for the best things to keep them progressing at the rate that they are right now. And
that says a lot about you as a coach, man.
Yeah.
Joey D is a hell of a puller. He's one of the top guys that put the videos on these streets. He's been doing it for years. But he's also a coach. And I got to see that for the first time. And for whatever it's worth, man, I'm really proud of you, man. I think that is currency that's money can't buy.
Yeah.
And speaking of something money can't buy, why don't you tell us a little bit about the custom awards, man?
Oh,
I'm so used to getting medals. I can go to the same tournament in the same areas and get the same medal for a year straight. So I'll have a year of the same medals. They're not even metal, they're metal plated. But yours are a little bit different, man.
yeah.
Can you tell us what they were and why do you do that?
So our very first tournament we ran.
Speaking about, oh, you cocksucker. Okay. Speaking of custom awards, man, can you tell us a little bit about what they are and why do you do it that way?
We do custom awards to try and stand out, just be a little different, give something a little bit that's unique, or maybe that's something out of the norm. And we did that for our very first tournament back in 2019 for the first Spring Classic. I reached out to a really good friend of mine. Haven't yet to meet him, but I've shared a lot of confidence in his input and advice on Facebook. Goes by the name of John Wilson. He's a really good dude. He's a expert craftsman, knife maker, but he really he's got a lot of good ideas. And I had seen that he had a laser machine, and I reached out to him to see if he'd be able to do a custom wood award that where you etched the actual, maybe the weight class and my logo and for the tournament, and he said it'd entirely easily
Is that something you
possible.
thought about for a while, or is it all
I thought about it. I just thought about difference. I wanted
Yeah, you
something
like to do
different.
different.
I just wanted something a little bit different, right?
I feel like you want to connect an emotion to the award instead of just buying something flashy with cash.
Yeah, I really wanted somebody to look at it maybe in the future down the road and just remember that day that
Yeah.
they went there and they felt those
Kind of like a
feelings.
memento from vacation. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, right?
Where you can remember it to a moment instead of, hey, that looks cool.
Yep.
Okay, I get you.
Exactly. Something that can... And then, you know, maybe they had seen any of the videos of me making it.
I think that
You
was
know,
very...
I shared a lot of the actual, process of making the medals or the awards, I guess you could say, for the tournament, and a lot of people saw them, and they said
they enjoyed it, too.
they could feel how much that meant to me.
Really? Are you serious? I did not know that.
Yeah, it was.
What's
it was
that
good.
mean? That's pretty dope, man.
Yeah, it was. It definitely makes
Connection.
it. Yeah,
All about connecting. Go ahead.
it was good. It makes me feel that it was
worth it.
It was something
Yeah.
that people are they're gonna cherish almost in a way that's something they not like a normal medal, right?
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah.
The tournament itself was a huge success. I got to work with Timmy personally, 2 commentators, and we were able to create a very interesting experience where Timmy was on top of the stage and was able to overlook the crowd and do what a commentator does, or what an announcer does at these things. And you got this wild card running around the audience, mingling with the crowd, and in the trenches. So we got 2 experiences with the same event. I think is very innovative, very interactive.
Yeah, actually,
And what did you think how it went, Joe?
It went really good because I was able to film from the backside.
And wherever you were, I wasn't. I was moving
Exactly.
around.
So
I looked for you a little bit.
Anyone who was paying attention to the live stream, you might have seen matches that I might have not been able to have covered because we were running 3 tables.
Yes.
It was one thing that I was trying to coordinate. I'd throw you a quick look and be like, get over there, because I was hitting these 2
No doubt.
tables. He would get the other table on the live feed so that everything was covered entirely.
I thought that went pretty good because if me and you were on the same table, it was only for a short second.
Yep.
So I'm like, all right, I got to go this way.
We'd throw each other the look
Yeah,
and be like,
no
we
doubt.
got 2 lenses.
That worked pretty well, you think?
It worked really well. Really
I mean, for
efficient.
not knowing that it was really happening until in the moment,
Yeah.
now that we know ahead of time, well, it'll be smooth.
Yeah, really smooth transition from over coverage to full coverage.
Yeah.
It's really good. And we had other videographers
That's
there
a
too.
big complaint, too, that people get is not getting full coverage.
Yes.
People got to understand that with one person trying to do as much, all of it, when there's a lot of action going on, it's, from a videographer side, it's pretty difficult unless you got Voltron like this guy does.
Yeah. You got to run multiple cameras to really be able to not miss anything. You might sacrifice a little bit of quality, but I'm just trying to be able to capture everything and share it with the people who've traveled as far as they have. I don't want them to miss anything.
Yeah. Now you had...
Yeah. For those of you who did make it out and get to see that we had flyers on the tables for upcoming events coming up, and our next event is scheduled for July 17th at the Bob and Bobber Brewery in Hutchinson, Minnesota. Same details on Facebook will be posted.
In 2 miles, take exit 260.
Thank you, Google.
We don't want to get lost.
The same details have already been posted in the event page for all the location, details, description, weight class, everything. All the information has been posted. We really look forward to seeing you guys come out and enjoy another awesome event.
Joe, you think I'm allowed to come to this thing?
You might see Jimmy G there. There's a good chance, slight chance.
I heard there's a walnut sighting in the weather predictions.
Definitely.
All right, let's talk about me and you a little bit.
Yeah.
I knew it in 30 seconds that this was one of my guys, man. Somebody a little bit different. Joey, you know what it hit it? You know what it hit it for me? What did you ask me?
I asked you when we were on our way back. I think we went up to the gas station. We went for a car ride, or we were in the car ride. We were coming back to the hotel, and we were talking about arm wrestling with intent and what kind of really want to do with this. And I just looked at you and I said, Jimmy,
In half a
how
mile,
bad do
take
you
exit
want to be
216
good?
for I-494.
I want to be good, Joey. Really bad.
And that was it.
That was it.
And really, before that, it was even for me. Like, we met at the hotel, or not the hotel, the airport. We were coming out, and we got into the limo, or well, I guess you call it a limo. It was a big bus, like a party bus, really, really nice. And we were driving around, cruising around, location to location. And one time, I noticed you kind of like disappeared from the crowd a little bit. So I busted out my camera, and I seen you kind of doing your thing up in the front, and kind of just isolating yourself in an artistic moment. So I snapped a shot of you as you turned around.
Oh, that's one of my favorite pictures, bro. Did you see the look in my eyes, bro?
That was it.
Is that it?
From that time, I was like, yep, he's one of the weirdos. He's one of the one of the goofy guys. Different.
That's awesome, man.
So that was it, man. I knew then and there, Jimmy.
Well, I didn't know until I think yesterday that even though you've been in this for a lot more years than me, I'm just getting in, and my goals and my view of this thing were in alignment with yours without even really knowing who you were yet. And when we start talking about the future of this thing and where the heart of it really lies, that's another thing that really hit it for me.
Yeah, the future of this is going to be
How do you think we can grow this sport, man?
the same way that I've been trying to grow it since I started running tournaments and hosting huge practices with big cookouts, and just inviting people to share what I'm trying to share. I'm trying to elicit the same feeling inside me that I get from arm wrestling into you guys. So in the future, the events are only going to get bigger. We're going to really try and offer more ways to give back. The money side of things is something that's always a big talking point in the arm wrestling world, where we're not really trying to go down the avenue of making that our sole reason that we're doing this, because the more money that we're going to get from the arm wrestling endeavors, we're going to try and give as much of that right back to the arm wrestlers, because without them this doesn't happen. Money can't create arm wrestling. Arm wrestling creates arm wrestling.
Money creates the money itself.
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be arm wrestling. No matter what. I'm going to die, and arm wrestling will still be here. It was here before I was here. You can't say the same thing about money. It needs to be.
Well, money's not what connected me to this sport. It was right there in the heart, man. The stuff you see in movies, that when they're done, it makes you feel something. I felt that like with Rocky, and I felt it like tenfold with this thing. Because it's all over the place. But I think even though people feel the same thing, sometimes they don't realize it, and it's right in front of their face. And
right.
They just need to be reminded of that. Well, I always hear the same thing. If you're in this sport for the money, you're in it for the wrong reasons. You're not going to make money in arm wrestling, even though people are trying to make millions out of it.
It's got to be from the heart. You got to love the sport, otherwise. And
people come in and out of this sport all the time when it's about the money.
It's a way of life. Arm wrestling will always be a way of life for the people that see it that way, and they're the ones who are bit.
Well, I see a lot.
Can't change it.
Some of the veterans and the older guys are really frustrated at the way that the sport's going with the social media direction, and they miss the good old days and how it used to be, and they think it's kind of going in almost a pop music direction.
It's going in a very, very commercial direction. Change can be weird. Not all the time is it fully embraced. I'd be a liar if I said I completely loved the direction of where it's going. I fun exactly. I mean, I like some aspects of it, but it sucks a lot of the purity and the creativity out of it when it's just content.
Yeah.
You know, there needs to be a balance between real and, you know, like, share, subscribe.
I know.
You know,
Kings move, no Kings move. PR's no PR. It's part of a little part of the sport, but the attention that gets thrown on it and the reasons behind doing it to get those views, it's a waste of energy to me.
it is it's a definitive different way of attracting an audience. It's going to be changes like this, you know, that kind of steer the sport in a direction that it goes for a while, and it might revert back to some of the old ways. But as long as social media and the internet has such a gigantic influence on it, it's going to be the way of arm wrestling for those people that embrace it, right? Where arm wrestling will still always be there for the same ways that it has been. It's just whether or not you're willing to go the extra mile to arm wrestle or enjoy arm wrestling the way that it's been enjoyed in the past. You're going to have to travel a bunch. You know, if you're not satisfied with watching live streams of footage, you know, travel, get out and go places, support local, you know, training clubs. Go and train with a club that's the next state over, or, I mean, travel to a big tournament, or not even a big tournament. Travel to a tournament that's maybe iconic in a local area that isn't that big, but it's something that's important to those people, and, you know, go and experience what they're doing. It's just little avenues that aren't always explored as by the masses because they're not as popular as, you know, because the internet says they're not as popular, right?
Well, think about the new guys that come into the sport and they're looking for content to help learn this thing, and all they see is this bubblegum bullshit.
That's another hard part where I've tried to explain that arm wrestling needs to grow organically. You know, it's going to have a lot of people that come and go, and those are going to be some of the people that attach themselves to the more of the hype side of things, where, you know, the weirdo stuff, the King's Move stuff, and the different, like, you know, social media, like, trademark stuff, like the weird slogans and all that stuff. Some people, you know, they kind of laugh at that stuff, and, you know, some people take it really serious, and that's why they enjoy it, because it's a lot of entertainment value. But some people don't really care if arm wrestling's entertaining. They want the core competition, you know, where if both dudes are quiet and respectful, and it's a nod of, you know, who's the best guy at the table, and maybe there isn't a whole lot said or anything. A lot of people don't like that. They want there to be the WWE side of it.
Yeah.
Where I like arm wrestling tournaments to be, like, super loud and hyped, but it doesn't need to be a lot of lights, camera, action, music, just crazy. If you've ever been to a high school state not arm wrestling, obviously, a high school wrestling, like a state tournament where everyone from the entire state is there supporting their, you know, school, and it's families, and it's grit, and it's competition, and it's seriousness, and there's everyone rooting for their specific team, and it's just, that's the style of arm wrestling that I want to create. I want that atmosphere, and I feel like we do that with our events at our venue.
A total record of that was, there was a thunderous roar in the crowd yesterday that, if you look at the live carefully, literally shook the camera. It looked like an earthquake was going on there. Scott Wynn
And Shiro.
bada bing, bada boom, this place went nuts. And after that, I was on fire for quite a few hours because I got
Match of the day.
right off that. Was it match of the day?
That was match of the day.
Match of the day.
It was an absolutely incredible hook war between legendary puller Scott Wynn out of California and one of my stars,
One of your main proteges.
Ben Shiro, absolute Titanic hook puller, very versatile left-handed puller, but his right has an absolute mega hook.
Yeah.
Scott Wynn found out, and also Scott had a lot of nice things to say about Ben's pulling.
Really?
Yeah, he said that he mimicked everything that he was doing, and he was doing everything right. So
you can tell Ben did his homework.
props to Ben's training. He must have somebody who's showing him the ropes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This man never ceases to amaze me, man. It's the
good.
hospitality. Betsy, thank you for having us, man. Thank you for having me this weekend. And watching the ripple effects of what you do without the money, Joey.
Yeah.
The ripple effects of what you do without the money are inspiring and very evident, not only in the crowd and in the pullers showing up from all these different parts of the country, but just the whole vibe of the place. It was different.
It's really good. We're trying to, as a look into the future, we're trying to, create a sort of an arm wrestling compound where, we can, as a glimpse into the future, we're going to try and, really keep the energy going and a way of giving back, and maybe trying to offer even more ways for people to travel from further distances and save on some of the more hindering things in the sport, like travel, all of the lodging expenses and stuff like that. We're really looking into building this sort of an arm wrestling compound with, a possible, lodging attached to it, with a gigantic, open area platform where we can host huge training practices, seminars, tournaments, special events on many levels. And even what I've kind of been wishing that's been a thing of the sport for a long time is an arm wrestling reunion once a year, where everyone travels who can make it, and there's an availability to stay without breaking the bank, and we can all get together outside of maybe some absolutely, mind-blowing competition, and kind of just focus on what we all enjoy the most, which is the time in between and the time after, and where we don't get enough of that time, where we are a family. It's just sometimes it's just bing bang boom, see you at the next one, hop on the plane, and then it's all just a memory. Where it's more time is what I've always craved at the end of a tournament. It's just like, I didn't even get to say hi to that person, or I didn't even get to hang out with them or grip up with them or get a picture or nothing. Yeah. And it's just, we need more time.
Tell us a little bit about what you have planned in this compound of yours.
Yeah, I want to have basically a gigantic gym with everything ready and available for people to travel from all over, and if they wanted to bring their entire team to train there, and maybe I had the ability to fly somebody in that was a legend in the sport, and we could all get together. There'd be all the gym equipment that everyone is already currently using for arm wrestling training. There'd be some powerlifting equipment, pretty minimal, just for the base strength. But it's just, I want to have back in the day there was a place. It was in, I believe it was in the Kansas area. It was called the Ponderosa, where they had sort of an arm wrestling lodge where it was where everyone would get together and just share a real arm wrestling experience. And that was something that I seen very early on that, you can't really explain it. You have to just go and watch it and pay attention to the people's faces. And that's all I can really say.
Do they have those places anymore?
Those places don't exist anymore, from what I've known. There's a couple of places that I've seen that, have really, really good arm wrestling gyms.
Yeah.
But the full circle of having the ability for people to maybe invite a family or two to stay with lodging, or like bunk beds, or just have people stay at the actual area where you're arm wrestling and training and having an absolute good times with everything there that you've ever needed, food, everything. It's just a location to do it all, essentially. I don't believe anything like that exists anymore. I know in the past it did, and it's something that I want to try and bring back.
What does the future bring for Joey D and NBK?
The future, we're gonna just keep growing it organically and getting bigger. Well, hopefully being able to give back as much as we can in terms of, you know, the custom awards and the bigger payouts. Hopefully we can keep doing the bigger payouts for the women and kind of highlight them.
I was really impressed with that.
Showcasing them. You know, they're all you have to do is look at my channel and see who's actually getting the most views.
The man, Mr.
Hey man.
Yeah, he's part of the team mascot. Team mascot.
The women's classes will always get more attention because they bring an entirely different level of energy to the sport. All you have to do is just look at my channel and just go through and look. The proof is right there. It's absolutely amazing. We had some fierce women competitors this time. I can't say thanks enough for them making the drive and the travel out, pulling with their absolute heart. So good.
Joey, I threw these vibes out into the universe when I first moved to Florida, and I said I want to find the others because this world's getting a little bit crazy. I was looking to build an army, and then I found you. Who was talking about a compound, and I see this sport being torn apart by money. I realize that it needs money to grow. I'm not stupid, but in order for it to be real and to last, money comes and goes. Am I wrong, Joey?
Exactly.
If you want something to be real and you want it to last forever, look no further than that thing that beats inside your chest. Money doesn't make that thing beat, and if it does, it's living for the wrong reasons.
You gotta have heart.
I knew when I looked at you, you felt the same way. I'm pretty excited about what we're going to do together as a team, and I can't wait to show them what's next. Are you ready to build an empire?
I'm ready.
Do I just look through it?
Hit the red button.
Alright, the red button. Okay, so we're gonna record. I think I'm recording. Yep, you can edit it out. Yep.
Give me a hug. You ready to go? I want to do it the right way. Betsy, thanks for having me.
Anytime.
Someone looked at a JGTV shirt and said, "What does this have to do with arm wrestling?" And my reply was, everything and nothing. It has nothing to do with arm wrestling in the standard sense, but it has everything to do with arm wrestling because JGTV Productions is all about the people, the bonds, the interactions, all the emotions that are involved in arm wrestling, all the great special moments that we share in the sport that we love called arm wrestling, all the connections, all the wars in the sport of arm wrestling. So you see, it's just like I said, JGTV has everything to do with arm wrestling and nothing at all. This is your host, Jimmy Walnuts. It's been an experience, Minnesota. I'll see you in July for the remix. Book your plane tickets now. The morning after the tournament, me and Joey took a morning walk, enjoyed the sunrise. We went to a special tunnel and we heard some special sounds, if you know what I'm trying to say. It came from the back of the tunnel. They've been heard there before. And if you're with us in July, maybe, just maybe, you'll hear them yourselves. And here's where me and Joey laid out all the cards for our future. Timmy, Joey, Jimmy, NBKjGTv. The revolution will be televised.